Hello and welcome back to X-Plane 11. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. Today we are going to be flying the Beechcraft Duchess 76 from Rochester Airport on the south side of the Thames estuary over to Cranfield Airport in Bedfordshire. The distance should be around, I don't know, it's probably about 100 or so nautical miles. Maybe a little bit more. I'm going to be flying this completely VFR today, so again, just like I did in the last video where I was doing the circuits in the Arrow 3, we're going to be focusing only on the 6 instruments and what we can see out of the window. No radio instruments to be used, at least in general. This is the second attempt at me recording this. I tried to record it yesterday, i.e. Tuesday, but something went very wrong, and I do have that video available for patrons, so if you want to check that out, it is on Patreon for supporters there. But to cut a long story short, I felt sick after some of the glitches that started happening in X-Plane. I'm hoping not to have the same glitches today. My head tracking is enabled, but if at any point I do notice these and I start feeling sick, I might just switch off head tracking and bring the aircraft down at the nearest airport. The reason I'm flying this aircraft is because it has been a while since I've flown the Duchess 76 and I would really like to give it a go again. It is my favourite aircraft in terms of general aviation, and after the intro I will be showing you a map of where we're going to be flying, what we're going to be doing, get the aircraft started, get it flying over to Cranfield and see if we can bring it in for a nice landing. So make sure you stay tuned for hopefully a good flight, a lovely flight over part of London, up into Bedfordshire and then down to Cranfield. So here we are with Avitab up, hopefully to give us some information and give you guys some information as to what we're going to be doing. This here is the M2, so that goes into London, joins up to the M25. Here's the airport. We are facing winds of 18 knots at 220, so my best bet is going to be this runway here, which is 20, I think. So we're going to drive around over there, follow this along, get up to that runway and take off that way. Maidstone is just down here. What I'm going to do is after takeoff we are going to climb out until we get to these lakes here, the Leybourne Lakes across the River Medway, and then I'm going to turn to join up towards the M25. So I'm going to turn in towards London, so you can see here that's the M2. So once we get there, I'm just going to essentially turn in towards London using the Dartford crossing right here as my target, so the Queen Elizabeth Bridge. Once we cross the River Thames, I'm looking to go straight over Romford, perhaps even turn in and go over sort of Ilford, Chigwell area, straight out of Waltham Cross. We're going to continue up all the way. Hopefully we should cross Welwyn Garden City, between Welwyn Garden City and Stevenage, and then we should be coming up towards Luton. At this point we should have the M1 on our left wing, and we should have the A1 on our right wing. We'll then, after Luton, we will turn in to cross over. In fact, no, yes, we are going to do that. We're going to turn to cross over, follow the M1 up to Milton Keynes, and you can see Cranfield Airport right there. Once we get to Milton Keynes, we're going to turn in on a downwind leg, do a circuit, and come in and land at Cranfield. Now I might just do a left-hand circuit, so I might just join the circuit, come in there, and then join the circuits like that. But it depends. I might just go for straight onto the base from Bedford and then turn in like so. But that is the plan. That's the idea. Hopefully this should go okay. Let's switch on some of the lights. Do not need too much, but I do like having these on. And I'm not going to do anything. I'm not really going to do many of the checks right now. It should be completely okay. Do not need to do the checks. Although I have noticed that one of my propellers is not That's interesting. One of the propellers is slower than the other. Oh, that is interesting. Should stabilise. Parking brake is released. Oh, I just saw one of those stutters that made me feel sick last time, and I immediately saw it. Right, let's get ourselves going where we need to go. There's a taxiway. So I'm just going to swing the aircraft around onto the taxiway. I'm not sure what is causing all of this stutter. There should be no stutter, but there is, and there's a lot of it. That's not a taxiway, that's a runway. Come on. I've also noticed that the right propeller is behaving very strangely. Right, am I going the right direction? That's the first thing I need to know. Probably not. Where am I? No, I am. I am going roughly in the right direction. There's another taxiway. You can see the wind. This isn't terrible. Okay, that's not bad. If I just follow this taxiway, we should be okay. Alright. Not too bad at all. Let's go ahead and see if the head tracking responds accordingly. And it does. Fantastic. Wind is 220 at 18, I believe. At least that is what the METAR showed. Whether X-Plane has managed to put that in, I do not know. We have about a third of a tank of fuel. Outside air temperature is showing to be, what's that, 25 degrees? That's not bad. Looking to fly at 3,000 feet today. 3,000 feet should be not a problem. 20R is the one we want, 20 right. If we fly at 3,000 feet, I believe with the RPM at 2,300 RPM, 3,000 feet, we should be doing about 130-ish knots. It's clear there. Right, we're on the runway. Stop. Just make sure everything is okay. Let's lower some flaps. Make sure the lights are on. Is that on or off? Cannot tell. I'm really curious as to why there is a lot of lag in this aircraft, in this sim, not in this aircraft, in this sim suddenly. It was fine, and on Vulcan it has been absolutely fine for me the entire way through, and it's just suddenly just caused problems. Now why are my throttles misaligned? No. Minor concern there. Pitot heat should not be required today given the outside air temperature at 23 degrees. Should be absolutely fine. What I am going to do though is switch the auxiliary fuel pumps on. There we go. That looks good. Everything's good there. We are good all the way. So we're looking to take off at let's see, 75 knots. We'll lift off. Try and do a climb out at 85 knots on that blue line. Right there. Let's try and do a climb out on that blue line, and we'll trim. We'll try and trim for that at maximum power. Where's the windsock? Hello? Where is the windsock? There it is. Showing roughly a headwind, so we should be okay. I'll set that just in case we use the autopilot. Make sure that this is set. We're currently heading... What is that? 20? So we're probably looking at 20 on that, which that looks about right. Okay, great. We are good to go. Almost directly a headwind. There is something wrong with my right engine. Gear up. Oh, there is something very wrong with my right engine. I can feel that. What is wrong with that engine? I think it's stabilised. Right, whatever it was, it seems to have stabilised now. Right, reducing throttle to maintain... to try and bring ourselves back to a good rate of climb. And trim for about 85 knots climb out. 90 knots climb seems to be okay. So we're alright there. Yeah, that seems to have sorted itself out, whatever was going on. I'm not sure what it was at all. Right, is this the River Medway? Just got to try and find the lakes now. Well, we do have a headwind, so we're not struggling too much. And as I said, we are climbing 3,000 feet, which should not be too much of a problem. We will use Avitab to help us out. Yep, that is the reservoirs coming up on us. Just trying to see them. That's one of them right there. So at this point, I think we should potentially turn. Let's see. Let's turn heading 330. Let's go 330 as we continue our climb. Lovely. And then we'll bring the flaps up momentarily. There's the Dartford crossing. There's the Queen Elizabeth Bridge, as you can see. We'll continue the climb out to 3,000 feet. At this point, I will bring my flaps in, so I no longer need them. I will reduce my throttles to 2,600 on my pitch, 2,600. Still full power. As we come up on 3,000 feet, I will lower the nose and allow us to accelerate. I think we're alright with that. What I'll do is I'll cross on this side of the Dartford crossing, and then I will go over towards London, which you can see out there. Let's start trimming this nose down now. And allow us to accelerate away. So far so good. Hasn't gone incredibly wrong. Now I've not flown this aircraft in a little while, so you will have to forgive me for... I'm going to try to not fly it on an autopilot, but you're going to have to forgive me for some, maybe not maintaining altitude properly or anything like that. I'm now going to reduce this to 2,300 and reduce the mixture accordingly too. And that should have us accelerating nicely to where it should be. Just double check my QNH. Should have been 1013 anyway, which it is. I think the other day it was 1015, wasn't it? You can see the manifold pressure is increasing to about 20, which is what I'm after. We seem to be okay. That's the Thames estuary right there. You have Southend on this side. Oh, we are still climbing though. That I want to avoid. And I think in terms of speed we're doing alright as well, because it's true airspeed that we're going to be at about 135. So I think we should be okay around this temperature and this speed, which is not bad. Let me just cancel the head tracking a moment so I can try and navigate and fix this. Oh, what's that wobble? So we are 140 feet above, which is not ideal. I might be able to pop. It's not just a good one I want. How do I change this? Push that in. No, that isn't it. No. Not used this one before. Nearest airport. Oh, that's would be handy. Nearest intersection. Yeah, this isn't too bad. That should give us some information of things. It's not what I'm after though. Aha! Here we go. Right. Let's turn ourselves to a heading of 300. There's London. You can just see it there. Sprawled out in the distance. Flight Simulator 2020 is going to be so good at this. It's going to be so brilliant at this. Got to be careful with the altitude. It's all about what's that term? Situational awareness. I think that's the phrase they use. Got to be aware as to what your aircraft is doing at all times. Now it isn't easy in a sim, that's for sure. But you make do. You do what you can. Echo. Golf. Tango. Charlie. There it is. What? Oh, I made a hash of that. Let's try that again. Echo. No. Golf. Tango. Charlie. Enter. Activate. There we go. Perfect. How far away are we? What does it say? 50 nautical miles. That's not too bad. Maybe I'll go further. Maybe I should go over to somewhere like Coventry instead, which is a little bit further away. Let's see. I mean, this video's been going for about 20 odd minutes anyway, so it is going to take a little bit of time. That's Romford down there. You can see London City Airport. You want to avoid the airspace of that, that's for sure. But at 3,000 feet we are above the glide path for London City. Actually, no, we're not. We might not be, because London City has a really strange glide path. Well, you're looking out ahead of us into the Lee Valley. We should be okay there. Just want to make sure my mixture is correct and all of that is okay. I think we're okay. At this point we're good into the flight. Fuel pumps can go off. Nothing to worry about there. They'll come back on for descent, but we should be okay until then. So we're going over East London right now. So Romford, Ilford, all of that area, Chigwell, Lee Valley, Wortham Cross, all of that area. Not quite Tottenham or anything, although you might be able to see the Olympic Stadium there in the distance. You might just be able to make out Highbury as well out there, or whatever they call it, Emirates, Arsenal, Highbury, I don't know. I'm not all too clued up on the world of sports, apart from Formula 1, but it's right next to Highbury anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's right round the corner on the A1. That's good. That's a good visual reference for the A1 as well. If you follow the road that connects up to Highbury or the Emirates, then you know that main road is the A1. Of course, the A1 does have a weird split where it splits off from the Great North Road, but this isn't too bad. This isn't too bad at all. As a matter of fact, this flight is not too bad compared to yesterday's flights. Yesterday's flight was really bad. I'm not feeling sick on this flight or anything because, well, the earth and the sky are not juddering around. What is happening though is I am climbing for some reason. Stop climbing. That's not good. Keep descending. I want to be at 3,000 feet. Pilots everywhere are going to be yelling at me. I think my manifold pressure is a little... that's a little low. Whoa, come on. That's not too bad. Well, that's 135 knots now. Indicated airspeed. Well, it says airspeed, I'm just going to assume that's indicated. It's not going to compensate for anything like that, I would assume. It's not going to compensate for density, air density and all of that stuff. And the altitude. I say air density, it does compensate for density. Air density is just altitude, doesn't really compensate for. Yep, North London, you can see Canary Wharf there, you can see the Shard. Very nice. This is the Lee Valley ahead of us. Should be a hospital somewhere here, Whipps Cross, I was born there. That's where I'm from. The Wortham Forest. Yeah, it is an actual, there is an actual forest. There's a golf course somewhere around here. And then you've got the North Circular. It's not bad at all. I really am looking forward to Flight Simulator 2020. Although I'm really hoping that JustFlight do That should have been on. JustFlight do give us Flight Simulator 2020 with their aircraft. This aircraft in JustFlight, this aircraft in Flight Simulator 2020 would be awesome. So would any of their aircraft, really. And once again, I'm now descending. I've got to be careful here. So we should have the M11, and then we've got to find the M1, the A1 and the M1. There's a water sports park just there. I believe that is the hospital as well. Stop descending. Flying over the city has caused weird things to happen. It's probably just me. It's probably me touching the. Maybe it's just me on the control stick slightly, and that's just causing some very, very slight issues. Let's go ahead and open up AviTab, and let's have a look at where we are. There's Chingford. There's Walthamstow. As I said, there's the water sports park and all of that kind of stuff there. That's the North Circular. You saw that crossing. It's crossed over the Banbury Reservoir, and we should be heading towards the M11 now, which should be. I believe this is the M11, is it not? No, this is the A10. We might have crossed the M11. Yep, we've already crossed the M11. We've crossed the M11 at Chigwell, and we're heading towards Enfield, which means that. So if that's the A10, the next one should be the A1. There it is. That's the A1 at Potter's Bar. So we're looking to cross at Potter's Bar. Brooklands Park, which is a VOR, which people may be aware of. Look at the nose doing weird things there. We'll go across St Albans, and then Hemel Hempstead, site of a very, very, very large explosion and fire some years ago at the oil depot. That was really bad. See this motorway? I say motorway, the A414. This used to be a motorway, the M10. This motorway was closed for fire engines. They had fire engines parked along this motorway, and that's how bad it was. And the oil depot was just here or something. I think they heard the explosion down in Europe. Where are we now? What road's that? Is that the M25 again? It is. That is the M25. That's pretty realistic. So we're crossing Waltham Cross now. That was impressive, actually, seeing the M25 like that. There it is, that ribbon. Need to keep an eye on that trim still. There's Potter's Bar ahead of us. And I think if we continue... Now, I did want to go through Welwyn Garden City and Stevenage, but it might be better if we go to St Albans, catch up to the M1, and then just follow the M1 up. That's another possibility. We'll have to be careful around Luton, though, because of Luton Airport. So let's see what we get. Or we can go from Potter's Bar, we can follow the railway up. We can see the railway at Potter's Bar. I think that's the railway line coming in. Yeah, there's an option there. What's the road down here? No, that road's not going to be of any use to us. there is that. So we can have a look at a few options that we have available to us. Not that far from Cranfield, but we still have a short way to go. Maybe another 20-25 minutes in this video. Hopefully everybody's having a lovely, well, I'm hoping it's a Wednesday that this comes out. I'm recording this probably about an hour before it's released, or 2 hours before it is released. So I am cutting it fine. This is real time, in fact, so whatever the time shows on the clock. Do we even have a clock? I don't know. Let's double check our direction indicator. We should have 315. We are showing not 315. Although that's the one we're after. This doesn't matter. It's this one. We're showing 300. Hang on a minute. Oh no, it is 300. That's showing 315 for some reason. That's interesting. 30. Okay. That's Hemel Hempstead, I think. Potter's Bar below us. Oh no, that's St Albans. That's St Albans right there. Then. Not sure what that is over there. Let's find out. Oh yeah, there's St Albans right there that we can see. It's Hatfield. Potter's Bar, Hatfield, yeah, St Albans. Hemel Hempstead is just out that way. That's St Albans. It's just there, opposite side of the motorway. We're coming up on the motorway fairly quickly. We shouldn't miss it. What we can see. That's Welland Garden City. That is... no idea. Some sort of industrial estate. Wheatomstead? Not sure. Need to watch that trim once again. So if we now fly straight over Hatching Green and Harpenden, we should have one small A road, which is the A10, I think. Nope, 1081. A 1081, which is that road there. That should lead us, if we just continue in this direction, should lead us straight up to the M1. After which we should be okay. Should be okay just to follow along. There's the clock. Not sure why I'm not looking. That is the... there we go. There's the time. It's quarter past 5. That's British summertime, so that is the time that I'm recording this, and I'm looking to release this video at 8 o'clock. So you're looking at about 3 hours after this has been released or has been recorded. By the time I finish recording, I have 2.5 hours to edit, render, upload, process, and release. Should be interesting. Should be very, very interesting. Hopefully I can. If you're seeing this later, you know why. And that is the M1. Okay, so what's the plan on following the M1? That is... let's see. M1 goes like so, but if I were to follow the M1 up to the A421, and then get onto the base leg for Cranfield, is that a possibility? I think that is reasonable, right? There it is, right there. If I keep the... right, which wing do I want to keep the M1 off? Just have to be careful around here. There's Luton Airport. We should be well above Luton Airport, anything landing at Luton. I'll tell you what, let's keep the M1 off our... Should we keep it off our starboard wing? So we'll just fly over it, and that way we can keep it off starboard. Let's do that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And how far do I want it? Well, I want to be able to look out, and that's not the M1, so I need to be able to look back and see the M1 at any point. Which I can hear as we fly over Dunstable. That's Luton Airport, right there. Let's just drift it. In fact, let's keep it in front of us. If I fly... Right. If I fly this now, perfectly straight, I should end up with the M1 off my right wing. I can see it still in front of me. Just point it out with the mouse. There. And that's Milton Keynes out there. We're doing decent for speed. We are doing quite decently for speed. As for Cranfield Airport, let's go ahead and pull up some information about it. So we know where we are. There we go, there's the M1 right there. We're just going to follow it up. We are pretty close to our destination now, so I no longer need that. No, I said I no longer need that. Airport, Echo, Golf, Tango, Charlie, enter. We're probably looking at landing runway 21. We'll land runway 21. What I would like to do is enter the circuit at 1,000 feet above the airport. So we're looking at 355. So 1,350 feet is probably what I'm looking at for the circuit. 1,350 for the circuit. Okay. I'll decide on the descent at some point. We are not far away at all. Just trying to see what I think. To be completely honest, I think at this point I would like to go into a descent. Let's actually bring ourselves into a descent. Drop those throttles back. That is Cranfield Airport in front of us. And there's Milton Keynes. There's Milton Keynes. There's Cranfield Airport dead ahead. Awesome. Okay. So restabilize head tracking. Perfect. Let's bring ourselves down nicely into a descent. At this point, I want to have my fuel pumps go on again. I don't think carburetor icing is required. It's 19 degrees Celsius. We are A-OK. But we will continue descending. Nice descent here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and keep the pitch angle steady and use the throttle to control my descent. So what I want to do is I want to keep the speed. Sorry, I want to keep the speed steady and use the throttle to control the descent. Down to 2,000 feet. Should probably get ourselves turned onto a base leg. I'm actually going to set this up to 1 to help us out here. So we want to turn 030. I think at this point it is probably a good idea. There's the A421, I think. Is it the A421? Cannot remember the name of that road. I think it's the A421. A421, there we go. And what I will do now is, we're still at 2,000 feet, which is going fine. Oh, there's that lag's come back. Oh, it's horrible. Please don't feel sick. And I do not know what causes this at all at the moment. But I don't know. I also do not know if you guys can see this. Hopefully it isn't showing up on the recording. But this is what made me sick last time. It was really, really bad. Right, let's continue the descent. Mixture's going up. Let's bring this all the way up to. And now to slow down. Throttle's coming back. Where's the airport? There it is. Still need a little bit more on our descent run. Alright, let's turn in base. Whoa. A little bit on the wobble. Watch that wobble. I do not want to drop that quickly. I think we're fairly low. Should be okay though. Flaps. Gear. Where's the runway? There it is, I see it. Let's turn in for the runway. Whoops, did not turn that in too sharply. It's okay. It's not a problem. Not a problem at all. Just want to make sure. I know I'm below. I mean, I intended to be below, but perhaps not this low. I should have held it at 1,000 feet until final, to be fair. But it's okay. I'm at a good altitude for bringing the aircraft in. Now, hopefully, it comes in all right, and it's not too much of an issue. What's our flaps? Do with a little bit more on the flaps. There we go. All visual now. Lights are coming for us nicely. I mean, I know they're still red, but that's fine. We're completely and utterly okay here. I'm not particularly concerned. Not quite on the centre line, but this isn't too bad. So I'm just gently shed off speed. Now shot a little bit too far off where I wanted to be, but we're okay. We're over the top. Let's bring this aircraft down nicely. There you go, and we're down. Welcome to Cranfield. And that was a good landing. The final wasn't as stable as I wanted it to be, but that was overall a really good landing and a much smoother experience than the other video that I recorded. Not bad at all. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos on X-Plane 11. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Don't forget to support me on Patreon if you can do so. That's www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. Also, you can find me on social media at ecgadgetLP for both Twitter and Instagram. That is all from me, and I will see you guys next time in X-Plane 11. That was really quite nice. I do need to improve the final, but overall that was not bad at all. I'll see you guys next time.